Hello, all, and welcome to a webcast with Inclusion Solutions. My name is Crystal Brooks, and I wanted to meet with you all today on video through this webcast in lieu of the blog post that we have been sharing on our website. We've been trying to provide some useful information to all of our educator friends during this time, focusing on inclusion and supporting diverse learners. So earlier in the spring, we had a blog post that shared a Padlet that I'm going to open up and look at with you all now. When I created the Padlet, I did so that I could kind of sift through all of the resources that were coming up online. There were so many. I would get emails every day. And then I would have to figure out, what do I really want to focus on? What's going to be most important to me in my work? And so this Padlet helped me to sort through the information that was available online and share it with my colleagues and friends in hopes that they found something here that's useful. Now that we've been doing this for 4 or 5 weeks, I find that even this is a little overwhelming. So I wanted to take a moment and just kind of introduce the Padlet platform and some really key resources in here that I have referred to time and time again in order to support students and colleagues. So Padlet is set up, I like to think of it like a bulletin board where I created headings and different categories of things that I was finding online, and it just helped me sort these visually and also created great spaces for me to go and find them later on. Some of my most favorite resources I have found through the Councils for Exceptional Children, through ASHA, the American Speech Hearing Association, also through the IDEA website, and just some fun things like looking at zoo cams. There's nothing more fun than looking at baby tigers playing in a zoo, and that's good stress relief. So you'll find lots of fun stuff in here as well. In this column, supporting one another, I have found that I go back to one of these resources more frequently than others. And this one was posted by Landmark College. They're a fantastic small school in Vermont, and they specialize in supporting diverse learners on their campus. It's a small school. They have built-in resources and supports for students with autism, dyslexia, ADHD, but they also go above and beyond and help teach teachers how to implement better practices in their classrooms, whether elementary or high school or even at the college level, to support diverse learners. So on their page, you'll find that there's quick reads on understanding the online platform, how displaying information online certainly is going to be different than it would be on your whiteboard, for example, how to communicate online, what you need to be sure of as far as explicit instructions, giving timely feedback, and over communicating. That's really vital in this time where students are just seeking engagement. So lots of great resources on this Landmark page that I hope you'll find useful. And poke around on their website in general, because they've got some really great trainings that you may be able to take advantage of. And even summer institutes, if you're like me and live where it's really hot in the summer, Vermont's a lovely place to visit for a summer institute. So check out Landmark College. Another resource I wanted to point you to is over here in the column, what resources do you need? There's a lot of them here, depending upon your area of focus. But one of my favorites that I've been going to time and time again is this hyperlinked resource list for K-12 educators. Now, don't get turned off. It says remote teaching for special educators. Honestly, we are all special educators. Every classroom teacher teaches a variety of learners, and being well-versed in differentiated instruction and meeting the needs of all levels of students is very, very important. So what I love most in this resource is the Universal Design for Learning resources. These are all hyperlinked. So it's going to take us to the UDL IRN site. I could spend hours with you going through all of these resources, but I'm going to show you where to find the most valuable ones. So if you look under implementation and then UDL resources, there are several on this website. The blueprint for UDL is a lengthy document, but I do recommend you read through it. Universal Design for Learning is often misunderstood, and there's some common myths in there that are dispelled. And what I hope you learn from perusing this site, if you don't already know, is that universal design is meant for all students. It helps us all become better teachers. It helps all students be successful. So if you look at their instructional planning process tab, you'll see that there are several steps to consider when planning your lessons. These are all really great short tidbits of information that you can consider when planning a lesson. This is great in the online learning environment. It's great in your classroom on campus as well. So please take some time, look at this UDL website, go to the implementation and critical elements of UDL, and you'll find some great resources that you can use in your classrooms. And then lastly, although there's several other resources here, another one that I just am always learning for is accessibility. So I want to see how the students, even myself, my own kids, now that they're in a learning environment that's remote, how can technology make learning for all students more accessible? So within this tab, I'm just scrolling through my tabs here. There we go. I think I was going the wrong way. There is the Google, oh, maybe it's over here, supporting one another. See, overwhelming. It's hard to find stuff even in this controlled little spot. Google Tools for Struggling Students. Check this one out. And I think you'll find some really helpful Google Chrome extensions that students can put in their toolbar. I recommend all students kind of have one or two of these at the very least in their toolbar that they can use to simplify any content that's provided online. Read and Write is there at the top. I'm not surprised. It should be number one. It's a great tool to help students who need to hear instruction rather than just reading text. And this enables that for students, so long as they're highlighting the content on their page. There are several types of these read aloud or text-to-speech features, and some of it does require just going through and finding the one that works best for each student. So I recommend you spend a little time, look at this. Read and Write is a great extension to start with, and then encourage students as you understand their learning needs or they understand their own learning needs. Perhaps there's another text-to-speech application or extension that can work better for them. You'll also find that there are extensions that will convert the font of text to a more dyslexic-friendly text. This is great. It helps to provide text that is in a font that's easier to read for students that have reading disabilities. And then if you keep on scrolling down, there's some other great tools such as Visor. This is a lovely extension for students that get overwhelmed by a lot of words on a page. This is like the overlays that you would put on a paper, and it just blocks out or de-emphasizes the words that students don't need to be looking at while they're trying to read in a given section. So very handy. Along those same lines, to help students that may have some visual preferences or even some visual needs, you have the opportunity to look at contrasting colors on a screen, color enhancers on a screen, and then this crafty zoom extension, which magnifies things very nicely for individuals who just have a little trouble with vision. They need things to be blown up to a larger size so that they can read successfully. And then of course there's Google Dictionary, Summarize Anything. Lots of great extensions here to just please, please, please go through and look. What do you think would be helpful for yourself as a learner? What do you think you would like your students to have access to so that they can better understand the content you're presenting? And just keep coming back to these as you get to know your students and their strengths. And that's Google. Google also has lots of free online classes because they have so many tools. They really want teachers, students, and parents to know what they have to offer and use them to the best of your advantage. So those are just a few resources from my little delightful shelf, as I've called it, my Padlet. You'll also find I'm building this on a daily basis, literally adding things almost all the time. And low incidence disabilities is an area that can be hard to find information for, so that's what I'm currently building now. You're always welcome to go to our website. As I showed you where the blogs are, you can access that Padlet right there. And it is interactive. So once you're in there, if you have an online resource that you'd like to share, go ahead and post it. Hopefully you'll be helping one of your colleagues as well. Okay, so next week we'll be having a panel of special education teachers in elementary and high school levels talking about their experiences supporting students and teachers in this online environment, and also thinking about what best practices can we take with us when we return to campus and we are with our students once again in person, live and in person. So please join us next week for that webcast. We look forward to talking with you then. And thank you for joining me today. Be healthy, be well.